want to be your buddy, Rick. Just want a little breakfast.
Call me Miss Wilson if you want.
Sheila, we stop serving breakfast at 11:30. Rick, have you ever heard the expression, the customer is always right? Yeah. Yeah, well, here I am, the customer. That's not our policy. You have to order something from the lunch menu. I don't want lunch. I want breakfast. Yeah, well, hey, I'm really sorry. Yeah. Well, hey, I'm really sorry, too. Okay, good! Calm down. Just calm down, everybody. Sit down, sit down. No. You sit down there and you finish your lunch. Come on. Everybody just relax. Take it easy. Come on.
Okay.
Let's eat your lunch, please. Eat your lunch. You all need your vitamins A's and B's. And It's an accident. It's an accident. The trigger, it's sensitive. It's okay. It's all right. It's just... It's a sensitive trigger.
And he got offended.
Rick, could I have my breakfast, please? Sheila? Rick, it's Folsom. Yes, sir?
Yes?
You know what? All right, I think I've changed my mind. I'm gonna have some lunch. Could I have a double whammy burger with cheese? You getting this?
Yes, sir.
And order whammy fries.
But see, I'm gonna tell you.
And, let me see, a chocolate wham shake.
Yes, sir. Sheila, get his order.
Could you get it for me, please? I feel more comfortable not calling you Rick after get them together. How you doing? Enjoying your meal? How about you, son? Was it good? Did you, man? Think we have a critic. I don't think she likes the special sauce, Rick. It's a joke. Here we go. Thank you. So this is what I'm talking about. Turn around. You see what I mean? It's plump, it's juicy, it's 3 inches thick. Look at this this room is squashed today. Can anybody tell me what's wrong with this picture? Anybody? Anybody at all?
Okay, today we're going to be seeing how close you can get to a drop of a neutron star. So before we can test this, let's talk about what a neutron star actually is. So you have normal stars like our sun, and our sun has a lot of mass. And when you have a lot of mass has gravity, and it wants to compress together, and it wants to attract each other and compress tighter and tighter together. But the reason our sun doesn't just collapse in on itself is because there's another force that's pushing it apart. And that force is due to the explosion that's constantly happening in the sun due to nuclear fusion. So hydrogen is constantly forming. All the exclusion holding them up exclusion, have electron capture. Heavy now. Broke through my jar, got some. Okay, now let's increase the density size of it. Now you can see how heavy it is. Put it in there. Weighs 50 grams instead of 5. Okay, now let's increase the density even more. And go. Whoa. Holy cow. Oh, broke my thing. Broke through my jar, got so heavy. Holy cow. So you can see it's extremely heavy now. The size of it. Barely pick it up. Look at that. Ow. So I would say this weighs around 1 pound now. You can see how heavy it is here. Okay, I'm increasing the density. I can't even hold it anymore. Oh, it went through the table. Okay, so we're gonna need a stronger base, but let's just go ahead and turn it all the way up to neutron star and see what happens. 3, 2, 1. Whoa, it just shot through
Weird
the
sound
earth.
like you in
So
here.
right now it's basically vaporizing the mantle in front of it and leaving a trail of hot plasma behind it. In a while, as it falls, it'll eventually just become lodged in the Earth's core. So let's try this again with a holder that will actually stop it from falling through the table and through the Earth. Okay, now let's redo this experiment with a magic stand that can support the weight of the 100 billion kilograms in that tiny little centimeter cube there. Now, because this is so dense, it has its own gravity force that I can feel. And what this feels like to me is that when I start to walk closer to it, it kind of feels like I'm starting to walk down a steep downhill because the gravity is pulling me towards the neutron star instead of straight down towards the Earth. So I kind of feel like I'm walking down a hill. So even just sitting next to it on a table, it's like gravity is pointing that way towards the drop of the neutron star instead of straight down towards the Earth. Whoa. Okay, now because gravity is proportional to the square of distance, it becomes increasingly hard to pull away from the neutron star drop the closer you get to it. So if you get closer than a critical distance, then you won't be able to get away from it, ever. So that means that if I want to touch this neutron star drop, I'm going to need another plan. And that plan has to do with water. Okay, so I managed to get some water around this. And if I didn't have this box around it, it would look like this. It would be a complete sphere around it with the drop at the very center, because gravity is now pulling it all towards the center. Now, normally, the point of no return with a drop this size of a neutron star is around 8 inches. Around 8 inches away, your arm would become too heavy to ever pull back, and then it would just get sucked in and probably get ripped off, and it would pull your whole body in and you'd compress down into the neutron star. But if you put water around it, something interesting happens. So let's see if this orange gets sucked in. It just floats. So at this range, it's hundreds of times of Earth's gravity, but it's floating on top here. So that means that buoyancy has nothing to do with the strength of gravity. And the reason it works like this is because the neutron star drop is pulling on the water just as much as it's pulling on the orange. But it pulls on the water a little more because the water's a little more dense. So the orange still floats on top of the water. So this means on different planets, whether it had stronger or weaker gravity than Earth, both would still be able to float just fine. They'd have the same buoyancy as on Earth, because buoyancy is independent of the gravitational factor. So that means my hand should be okay because my hand is less dense than water, so my hand will never get pulled towards the neutron star stronger than water. So as long as I keep it in water, I should be able to get to as close to it as I can. But what happens when I get close to it is it's like there's this impenetrable layer I can't get past because my fingers are less dense than water. Basically, I can't penetrate this layer of water because the neutron star is pulling down on the water, no matter what, harder than it's pulling down on my finger. And so no matter what, I can't get through the layer of water around the ball. So even in this situation, even when you have water around it, you're protected from the gravity, but that means that you're going to end up with a very small layer that you can't penetrate with your finger as long as you're less dense than water. Now, if you put some alcohol in this water and you actually became more dense than the water, then it would suck your finger in and you wouldn't be able to pull it off. So no matter what, even in this situation, you wouldn't be able to touch a neutron star. You could get very close if you surrounded it with water, but you could never actually touch it. Hey everybody, thanks for watching. The ideas for this video and a lot of the information from it came from the book from Randall Munroe, What If, that I've mentioned before, one of my favorite books. Now, in case you couldn't tell, this video was a simulation. I did not actually have a drop of a neutron star. But if you do manage to get a drop of a neutron star, don't try to touch it. And thanks for watching, everybody. I hope you...
Yeah.